initial reaction was, the week before the referendum, there were the first opinion polls indicating that the Leave side might actually win. Then the opinion polls swung back a little bit, but so I was concerned. I wasn't sure that the Remain side would actually win the referendum, even though the last opinion polls did console me a little bit, and I thought, okay, well, they might squeeze through narrowly. I find it really a pity that the United Kingdom will be leaving the European Union, because they have been an important player and obviously an important European power that should be part of this common European project. At the same time, Great Britain has always been a reluctant contributor to European integration. They did not join the Euro, they did not join the Schengen zone of passport-free travel. So it's not a surprise. We knew that Great Britain was the most Eurosceptic member state, and that Euroscepticism in Britain is also different from Euroscepticism elsewhere because it's so deeply entrenched even in the major political parties, particularly the Conservatives. So in that respect, not a total surprise, but still obviously a major blow for the European integration project, to which I feel quite closely connected. Yes, absolutely. It's a lesson that something has to change. The European Union has to find a way to indicate it and more clearly communicate why it is actually beneficial even to these demographics that I talked about earlier, and that might entail that actually more European projects are developed that will actually help poorer people, less educated people, and so on. The EU has been an elite project. The people who have mainly profited from it have been societal elites. They have profited nicely. The European integration project has been very successful in that respect, but it cannot overlook that there are also losers of the integration project, and they begin to mobilize, or are being mobilized, perhaps we should rather say, by shrewd politicians who are, I would argue, not really interested in helping these people, but in, like Boris Johnson, interested in maybe becoming Prime Minister of the United Kingdom, but they are exploiting this discontent, and that's a problem. In the short term, clearly Britain, and we are seeing the turmoil in the United Kingdom now, which in part is due to the fact that the Brexit proponents had absolutely no plan what to do should they win the referendum, which is kind of shocking and no one really expected. So clearly Britain is hurting now and is in turmoil, and even in the medium term it will be very clear that the vote has significant economic and political consequences on the United Kingdom. Britain exports about 40%, more than 40% of its exports into the EU market. Access to the EU market is also very important for the financial services, which are located in the city, in London. All of that might be endangered. At the same time, you're aware of that as well, there are fears that the Brexit might encourage a new referendum on independence in Scotland, might have some negative effects on the peace process in Northern Ireland. So those are all very real, serious problems that the British government, the new one that's coming in September probably, will have to face. So in the short term, for sure, Britain is more seriously affected. The European Union can continue to function, but it has to take seriously the warning signals of this referendum that we talked about just a moment ago. Well, I think that will remain to be seen. The referendum on staying in the European Union or leaving does of course not immediately have anything to do with independence in Scotland, but it is noteworthy that more than 60% of Scots voted to remain in the European Union, and the Scottish National Party that runs the regional administration in Scotland is seeking to exploit the referendum as an opportunity to maybe try again to propose Scottish independence. Whether that will come about, whether they will actually have another referendum, whether that referendum can be won. I wouldn't be necessarily certain at this point, but it is a realistic prospect. It's not impossible.